Good morning, good evening. Oh, no, that's that other guy's intro, isn't it? Talking of him, you might know that we've had a bit of a disagreement, me and Wolfie, so I've had to send him out to the naughty step. If you guys spam enough in the chat, I might bring him back on at some point. But other than that, we'll soldier on without him. We've got Utty coming on, which everybody's been crying their eyes out for. Everybody loves Utty, and a couple of others as well, and a new host. So take it away. Somebody take it away.
What's happening, everyone?
Are you on yet? There we go.
Oh, and what an
Are we live?
amazing intro. So,
Fuck,
as
I
you've
didn't
heard,
start trending.
we've stuck Wolverine on the subs bench. So don't worry,
Yeah.
he'll come out for 70 minutes. Don't worry about that. But welcome to the Forest Fan TV transfer review. And we've got some amazing guests here. Obviously, I think you already know the three guys that are here. So back by popular demand, we've got Utty. Utty, how are
What's
you?
going on, everyone?
Really good,
And
mate.
back
Good to have
by
you on.
very popular demand, we've got Forest Ant. How you doing, Ant? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. Very good.
And just
Looking
back,
forward to this.
me too. And just back, anyways. Just Ez. How you doing, Ez?
I'm good, mate. I'm good to be back on with you guys. It's like we're never away from this, are we?
Never away from this, no. So I'm just going to put a ticker on the bottom. This is what we're talking about today. We're mainly talking about the transfer review that Forest have had.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give Utty a little bit, five minutes or so. We'll set the timer on it to just gloat about Man United beating Forest many times this season. But I just want to say hi to some members of the chat who we've got in. We've got Adam. Hi, Adam. You okay? David Marchant. Thanks for all the support.
Yes, David.
We've got
Any one of
Stanny.
yours as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Bless
good,
you.
lad.
Oh, okay. What's this? Utty, are you now FFTV?
Wait and see, mate.
Wait and see.
Wait and
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's a
Signing of
cliffhanger.
the season if it comes off.
Yeah, but we're in negotiations. Don't worry.
We've got. Hey, there you go. Ez, you've got a fan. Have we got
My
any
biggest
Ant
fan.
fans?
That's my
Oh,
biggest
there you
fan.
go. We've got Ant fans as well.
Hey.
Wonderful. Right, so we're going to start off your 5 minutes of fame, Utty. Man United
what,
versus
man?
Forest. We've played you three
You know
times
what?
this season.
As
and
happy as I am, I think 5-0 flatters us a bit. It wasn't that sort of competition, if you want to say, especially the first leg. I tell you what really pissed me off? Obviously, as a United supporter, I'm happy that we won, but the whole VAR decision in regards to Surridge's goal. Firstly, it was touch and go. I couldn't even tell if it was offside or not. They draw those bloody lines and everything. But more annoyingly than that, if that was in the quarterfinals, then that goal would have stood,
No
which
VAR.
doesn't make sense. Either you have VAR throughout the entire competition, or you don't have it at all. You know what I mean? So if that goal stood 1-1, crowds fucking buzzing, could have been a different result altogether. But I tell you what, I'm pleased. Cup final. This is our first domestic cup final since I think 5 years now.
Yeah, 2017, isn't it? Your last one?
Yeah, but I tell you what, man, I'm not looking forward to the final because United have to play, Man United, that is, we have to play 6 games. Newcastle only have to play 3. They've got 8 days rest before the final. We've only got 3 days, and that too after playing Barcelona in the second leg of the Europa League. So it's going to be tricky to say the least.
Yeah.
going back to your comment. Sorry, Ez, going back to your comment about VAR. I mean, did you see the VAR decision where Antony should have been sent off? This is not sour grapes. This is just fact.
Yeah, I mean, look, I missed that particular incident, but
It's gone all awesome.
yeah, I don't even know what to say about VAR right now. It's just an absolute piss take. Like, I look at other leagues or even the World Cup. You saw how well it functioned. I don't know what it is with the Prem. It's always just an issue here.
I think there was some more advanced features, wasn't there, in VAR in the World Cup that's probably going to come into the Prem.
And all that stoppage time is like 10 minutes of fucking added time.
Yeah, exactly.
I suspect, and I may be wrong, but I suspect that the reason why it fails so badly in England is because the top clubs have too much power, and the authorities are actually scared of the top clubs. That's my belief.
There does seem to be a bias towards the so-called Big Six. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
all the big decisions always go their way, especially when it's a home game.
Yeah,
this is it. And I thought that was a fallacy until you see it this season, and we've been on the receiving end of it.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
Thank you, James, for the 179 hotline bling.
Thank you,
James.
I think one of the biggest,
I give a reference.
One of the worst decisions I saw, and actually it was against a team that I wanted to win. That was the Man City one, where last season there was the handball, and it was such a clear near the end of the
Everton
season.
Game.
The Everton game.
Yeah,
It's so clear and obvious.
And that could have changed where the title went, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think of Antony?
Butty, I want you to answer this one because this is something that I was going to ask you later. What do you think of Antony?
You know what? So far, his end product's decent. He's getting the goals and assists, but I want to see him a lot more involved in the games. I think what's caught United supporters by surprise is just how much pace he lacks. You would think he's going to run at the fullback, skip past them, but I haven't really seen much of that. And he's clearly a bit of a dickhead, which I'm okay with. But you should be behaving in that manner if you're like producing results on the pitch right now. It hasn't been at the expected level, but still early days. He's only young. I think the price tag obviously is a big issue, but
this is the issue, isn't it?
Time.
Yeah, you've just said it because I think that's the issue with him. I think he's believing his own hype because that price tag is way over the top for him.
Yeah,
he's not
probably worth about half that in all honesty.
Yeah,
but if Ten Hag thinks he fits the system, then so be it. I trust that man with pretty much everything right now.
Well, okay, then let's just slip into that then. How much of a difference has Ten Hag or Ten Heisenberg made to Man U this season? And are you happy that happy for him to keep the reins for a few years? Because I think that's what Man United need more than anything, a bit of stability with their managers. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%, man. I wouldn't swap him for anyone right now. Like, I swear, last season was pretty much as low as it could have gotten. And based on that, we were all just hoping, you know, forget about top four, just play some half-decent football and we'll be all right. But he's pretty much turned things around completely, you know. We're not going to be challenging for the title this season, no chance of that. But we're third right now, which is where I reckon we might finish. I think the amount of games that we have coming up, that's going to be a bit of a problem because of our squad depth. But you can't ask for much more, you know. We see patterns of play coming in and, you know, we might even end up with a trophy. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, definitely stick with Ten Hag for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, Otti. I mean, I got a bit lambasted yesterday on the stream for saying that United are really a force now. I really do think so. He seems to be a very good disciplinarian. Exactly. But like I said, I don't want to dwell too long on Man United because I know deep down that you're a closet Forest fan. Right? You are, aren't you?
It's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah. I think with this chat they can actually convert you guys. Listen. Footy with Utti is actually only 21 subs away from 5,000. Can we please, I don't know how many are in tonight, but please, listen, his channel is amazing. And I know people say that all the time, but he's so quick with getting the content out. And if you've seen anything through the transfer window, as soon as a player's signed, he's done a really fabulous, very unusual style in telling you about that player. So you must follow this guy. He's absolutely amazing. Please let's help him tonight get to the 5,000 mark if you can.
Guys, if you click on the hyperlink in the title of the show, it'll take you straight there. But yeah, our main man Omar is on it straight away. So click on that thing, guys. Let's help. Let's do it live on this show. We'll keep going until he hits 5,000. So the sooner you do it, the better for you guys. So yeah, keep going. But
yeah, I remember Adam pointing that out. Yeah. A lot of people do.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's we discovered you from me and Ant were massive fans back in the summer when you started doing the videos, and we've talked about this before. But the way you continued as well, I think you've got a lot of loyal Forest fans following you for just the way you were honest and where everybody else was chatting shit and you know, making up stories
media,
about.
Man.
I know. Well, they've got to sell papers, haven't they? You know, truth doesn't come into it anymore.
Exactly.
The thing is, it's not easy for people to have the personality and the ability to make videos like that.
Yeah.
Not just informative, but entertaining as well. And that's what he does. He entertains
you. Know what? I had someone have a pop at me for making too many Forest videos. I'm like, mate, if your club signed players, I'd do it. Forest signed 30 players.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
Like, I'm trying to keep it even, like between all the clubs. You know
you
what I
had-
mean?
That's the thing. We're doing you a favor.
Yeah.
You know, we're
You had
signing so many
29
players just to
videos.
feed your channel.
You know what? I was literally just thinking yesterday, if you know these small things, they make such a big difference. Like that championship final that you guys had against Huddersfield, had the referee giving them the penalties and you not come up. What the fuck? My channel we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. You know what I mean?
It's so true, isn't it? The sliding doors moment, and look at where they are now. They're bottom of the league, Huddersfield.
Exactly.
You know, and we took the manager off them, the two best players.
Didn't even play them.
I didn't even play them. I'm not even in that. Well, one of them's not even in the 25-man squad.
Sent the manager to Olympiacos and then sacked him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We sacked him as well. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's amazing how things work out, but I'm so glad to have you on our channel. And yeah, guys, if you keep show Ruti the love, and yeah, we'll have some more content with him coming up. But let's get back to it then. So you've had your gloat about the Man U game. How do you see the final? Like you said, you've got a lot of games prior to that where Newcastle have got half as many games, and certainly we won't be playing Barcelona. Do you think that's going to really cause you a problem leading into that final? And for me, I hate when they do the League Cup final. It's always at an awkward point in the season. It's not towards the end of the season. You know, it's on a really random weekend around Easter usually. So what's your reflections going into that final? Are you confident that you can get your first silverware in a few 5 years?
Do you know what? If someone offered me at the start of the season Newcastle in a final, I'd have definitely taken it. But the way they're playing, as well as the just the amount of fixtures that we have coming up, I think a lot depends on that first leg of the Europa League. We're away to Barcelona. If we can get a good result there, then you might be able to rotate just a little bit at home. But if not, 3 days after that, going to Wembley while they've got 8 days off, and obviously for them, their first League Cup final in 50 odd years, their first domestic cup final since 1999, they're going to be bang up for it. So I've got to be honest, I'm not particularly confident, but it's going to be a close game, 50-50 for me.
I think it's going to be a fascinating final because of the contrasting styles. I mean, obviously, Newcastle's defence, I don't know where it's come from. I don't know how they've done it from last year, early last season, to what they are now. They just don't let goals in. I think they've let one goal in 16 or 11 games or something. You know, so that's the challenge that Man U have got. And Man U, they don't always get the goals that you think that they should get. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And if, I mean, obviously Rashford is on fire.
I wouldn't be surprised if it... Oh, yeah. His form is unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes to extra time. I'm pretty much expecting it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be all you need. Yeah, go on.
The bell's just gone. The alarm's just gone. You've had way more than your 5 minutes, my friend. So
a long time to me, actually.
I know it's difficult for us all to talk about Man United without putting Forest in there. So we're going to talk about Forest now. Okay, we're going to talk about the general reflections on the transfer window, and this kind of goes back sort of all the way to Scarpa. So we're going to go through the individual players. But Ez, what do you think about the overall, if you were to mark it out of 10 and just give us a synopsis of what you think about Forest dealings this January transfer window? Yeah.
I mean, overall, with what's come in, I'm happy. You know, and I'll give a score at the end of my summarization. But it was just a little bit frustrating that we got a couple of players in early. Obviously, Scarpa was already pre-arranged, and then it went quiet for a little while, and then obviously busy again right towards the end of the window. We've done this in past years as well. It is exciting for the fans, but it's a little bit frustrating thinking you're literally leaving it to the last minute of that window. You've had all month to get these players in or try and... But also, you know that it works on... It's almost like a chess game or dominoes. You know, certain things have to happen before those players become available, and you can have those conversations about bringing them over. And that's the only downside. But it does make it for the fan viewing. It's exciting, and we wouldn't want it any other way. But you think from a team's point of view or from a club's point of view that they'd like to get their business done earlier in the window. But on reflection, in terms, if I'm going to score the window out of 10, I think it's 7.5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think we addressed a few issues that we needed to. There's still, for me, the striker issue hasn't really been addressed, but I think
Agreed.
What's happened since then with the player that's come in, Ayew, I think Ayew's got enough durability about him that he can be that fox in the box that we probably need on some occasions. So we'll talk more about that. But yeah, 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me from this transfer window.
Can I just
Obviously,
jump
that
in
was an
here
interesting
quickly?
point that
Sorry.
Es made about last minute stuff. Go on, Ant. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I just want to jump in here because there's some idiot in the chat. Can we ban him?
Is it your brother?
Who is it?
No.
Wolverine.
It's claiming
Ian.
to be FFTV. He's
Oh,
hacking in.
really?
It's giving me shade. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. My other half has donated £1.79.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marlene.
Thank you, Mylene. Don't have to do that. Thank you very much.
Should be expecting hot chocolate and a massage.
Yeah,
for that.
exactly. It's not free for you, mate.
Not free for me, no. He has made a good point there about people doing business like really late, or Forest doing business really late. Certainly on the outgoings with Forest, I don't know what went wrong there. We saw several players that were supposed to be going out and they're kind of all still here. What do you see with other clubs? Do you see them doing their business so late? Because I know that you're in touch with a lot of other clubs' transfers.
You know what? It's exactly what he just said earlier. It comes down to pretty much being a game of chess, and that's why you see so many deals going right down to the deadline. I mean, even my own club, Man United, Christian Eriksen, turned out he got injured. We weren't linked with anyone. I thought our window was done after bringing in Weghorst, but then you end up bringing Sabitzer in as well. So circumstances are always changing. And yeah, I mean, it's annoying for us supporters, leaving it all the way till the end. But I can sort of see from a club's perspective why it might go down to the wire.
Yeah. What's your opinion of that? I mean, do you think that we shouldn't be so manic in the last sort of 24 hours, even down to the last 7 hours?
Yeah, I've said before that there are all sorts of circumstances that we're not necessarily aware of. And, it's all right for the buying club saying, I want to get this player. But sometimes the selling club will think, well, no, you're not having him. Or they think, we'll wait and wait and wait. It's a brinkmanship thing, isn't it? The buying club wants to pay as little as they can. The selling club wants to get as much as they can. And often they play it right to that last second before one of them blinks.
Whoever blinks first,
and that's what happens. And that's what happens, isn't it? And so it always happens. It happens every window. And we always say the same thing. We've had 4 weeks to do this, but it doesn't work like that. Because things change as well. You get injured. I mean, players leave all of a sudden. Players get injured, then all of a sudden you need to make a late signing. There's lots of sort of variables that go into it. It's not a simple case of at the beginning of the month you think, I want those 3 players, we'll go and get them now. Because it very rarely happens like that.
Yeah.
Even teams like Arsenal ended up last minute getting Jorginho.
Yeah.
They hadn't planned to get him.
Yeah.
Which I think is that.
Speaking of Arsenal, they wanted Caicedo and Mikhailo Mudryk. They've ended up with Jorginho and Trossard. I mean, that's quite a big downgrade. You just never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
Yeah, so it can happen to anybody. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It's frustrating as a fan, but it doesn't surprise me.
Do you think we've got all the positions covered now? I mean, would you have done anything differently? It seemed for a time that we're after a lot of attacking midfielders in that midfield section, which we're obviously overstocked there now because of the likes of O'Brien missing out. Where do you think we've been let down in terms of the positions? That's to you.
Okay, to me, striker-wise, I think not everybody's sold on Chris Wood. But I think I've said this, I think he's got his part to play. And I think if we utilise him as a number 9 and we've got some of the best creative midfielders in the league, in my opinion, in our squad, and if we can get the best out of them and we've got a target for them, then he can play his part. I think some Forest fans would have expected or would have hoped, would have tried for a bigger name striker. But unfortunately, like I say, we have what we have, and I'm happy with what we have, and it's a case of getting now for Cooper to getting those new players to gel. I think he's brought the right mix in where they've already got connections, as in there's Brazilian lads who are going to link up together. Ayew again, who said in his first interview today how many players he knows and he's played with on various occasions. I think it's got a really good blend to it now. I think we've had issues with players and clicks, probably you can see it in some of the players that we tried to move on in this transfer window. So if some of the signings haven't worked from that point of view, but I think he's got a much better mix and a blend now. Can I just point out that there's a super chat in there if you want to bring it up, Dino, from Simon F. I don't know if you can see it. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Yes, Simon.
Hero.
So is this a loan with an obligation to buy?
Option, bro. Option to buy.
Option to buy.
I'm sure we'd take up that option.
Yeah, I think we might
We might
exercise
take
that
up
one.
that option. Yeah.
See how I get on first.
Listen,
And
I'm
with the
gonna
poll-
put the
Sorry, did you
rumours
see the poll as well that somebody put up? So there's a poll in there. You guys get your votes in, and it say, should Forest Ant apologise to Wolverine, yes or no?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
about a 50-50 vote at the moment. So guys, get your votes in on that one, and we'll see. Yeah, no leading,
Thanks,
right?
because I can't see the polls. So thank you.
Yeah. So that's in there. Because we can't bring them up, can we? There's only one man who can. I don't know where he is tonight, but yeah. So the polls up there. So guys, get your votes in. There's about 50 votes so far, and it's about 50-50. Ooh, the no's are getting a few more now, but I'll update you on that as we go along. But
He's been a very naughty boy.
And what's your reflection on the transfer window? And what would you rate it out of 10?
I think it's been a good window for us. We've addressed areas that we needed to address. We've got a forward. Whether you think he's the best forward in the world or not is kind of immaterial in a way. We've addressed an area. We've got a forward. We've strengthened the midfield with some fabulous Brazilians. And we've addressed the centre-back with Felipe and the goalkeeper with Navas. I mean, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. So I'm pretty satisfied. We'd all like to get Haaland in as the centre striker, but that ain't going to happen. We have to be realistic. So I'm happy with it, and I would give it at least an 8, to be honest, because it's not easy buying players in January, is it? And to fill the positions that we needed to fill is the most important thing. So many teams you see at the end of the transfer window haven't addressed a particular hole in their team. But I think we have. So overall, I'm pleased with it. Shelvey as well. I think it's a great signing. Experience. I can see you laughing. I don't know what's going on.
No, we're laughing at
One of the comments, mate.
Where are you from then, Nutty? Come on, answer the chat.
Yeah, let's answer
You know what?
Adam.
That's like the hardest question anyone can ask me, because I was born in India, but I grew up in Singapore, right? So I was in Singapore from the age of 4 till about 18. Then I moved to America first, and then I spent like 6 or 7 years in the UK. So yeah, citizen of the world, man.
Hey, love it.
Traveller.
Where were you in the UK, Uti?
So I switched between London and Manchester. Mostly in London, though.
Yeah, like most Man U fans.
Nottingham's in between. How did you miss it?
No, so I studied at LSE in London, and then I would just travel up and down all the time.
Yeah, well, you should have stopped off in Nottingham more often.
And man, I only came for the cricket. I still haven't been to the City Ground. Only Trent Bridge.
Yeah, you've been to the Trent Bridge, haven't you? Yeah. We'll have to sort that out, mate.
Let's get back to, we mentioned the strikers. You mentioned Woods and Ayew there. Would he play Ayew in front of Woods up front, or do you think Ayew's more of a left-hand side player? And what do you think to that? Who would you start with, and why do you think he's bought Ayew as a striker or on the wing?
Well, he obviously knows him really well. I can't pretend to have watched a lot of Swansea City where he had Ayew, but from what I can gather, they really got on well. And Ayew was like a god down there. He was a king. They called him the king down there. They really liked him. He did a bit of everything. His goal scoring record's not bad.
Quite impressive, yeah.
But I'm. It's hard to say really, because we have so many players that we can put into those positions that when you say, "Well, I'd play him there," then you say, "Well, are you leaving him out then?" So I don't really know. On the left, maybe on the left.
Do you know what? Yeah.
What do you think? Because you've done a video on him, haven't you?
Yeah, I think
again, guys, he's so close to 5,000. Please just follow Omar if you can put the link again in the chat. Honestly, brilliant videos. I love the videos. Very, very jealous.
I really appreciate it.
Where do you think Ayew's position is going to be at the age he's at now?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a wide forward. Don't expect to see him at number 9. So I'm probably going to I think he'll be on the right-hand side more often than not.
Right.
But just the type of player that he is, he'll be interchanging positions all the time.
Yeah.
At least that's what he did under Cooper at Swansea. So I'm expecting a repeat of that, but definitely not as a number 9. Chris Wood's going to be the man there for sure.
Because
He's played a bit of a fox in the box, though, hasn't he? For his
he
club,
can play
he's
that
just
fox
left.
in the box role.
He does turn up there, but I reckon he's at his best when he's playing just off a number 9.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Rather than being the lone man up front.
Oh, so off Big Chris then.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
I mean, look, I'm no big fan of Chris Wood. I had huge reservations when I heard that he's moving to Forest, but you have to sort of make do with what you can get at this moment in time. So,
You know what, Archie? I have not met a single person that's a big fan of Chris Wood, and yet he's been seriously, and yet he's been a professional footballer in the Premier League for 10 years. So somebody likes him. He must have something to offer. But I've met nobody that goes, "Oh yeah, Chris Wood, he's the man." You know, it's strange.
Is he just a steady Eddie then? Do you think, as?
Yeah, well, I think he's a horse for the course, and I think once
Not a donkey, then.
I don't think he's a donkey. No, I wouldn't run him down like that.
Andy
I think
Carroll.
he'll be a key player. I think until Awoniyi's back, and I really hope when Awoniyi is back, he's played as a number 9 because I think he is our best number 9, and I'll go back to having so many creative midfielders now that we should be utilising them and giving them a target to aim for. We saw glimpses of Scarpa's crossing ability, the way he whips that ball in. I haven't seen that. It's a wand, you know, and let's utilise it. And once you've got a target like Chris Wood, or even I think there's times when Cooper will play him like that because he did when he was at Swansea. But there's times Cooper, there's times when Cooper will throw. Ayew into the mix as a number 9, I believe he will. But just want to make one reference because Uti's videos are so well researched. I didn't know this. I didn't know that the two Ayew brothers were sons of Abide Pele, who was one of my...
it's crazy, isn't it?
A fantastic player. You know, in that Olympic Marseille side with Jean-Pierre Papin, they were fantastic in the 90s.
Waddle,
Yeah, you know, they were a great team. So when you mentioned that, I didn't know that at all. So he comes from a rich heritage, you know, and like I say, he's done well for himself and he's played all over the world. I think he's a talisman as well. And he's somebody who can help Cooper knit that dressing room together, I believe. I think he's everyman. He's one of those people that gets on with everybody. And I think he can really help from that point of view because there have been a few fractures, as we've seen, and it's going to be hard. You're bringing in now 29 new players, and you got to make them gel. You know, so we've given you enough content. You could have put 29 videos out, and you pretty much have on Forest signings this season.
I swear, man.
Go through the catalogue, guys. You know, there's plenty there.
The thing with Ayew is, when I was doing my research on him, I was just surprised by his character, and you've probably seen it with his first interview with Forest TV. Like, his mentality is just second to none, and I think that's going to rub off on the rest of the squad. Because, you know, a lot of people are obviously taking the piss, like, oh, Forest signing another player. Do they really need him and all of that? But he's going to bring something to the table for sure.
It reminds me a little bit of Aurier because he slipped in at the end of a window as a free transfer. Nobody really paid a second glance at him. And we've had a little bit of criticism of him recently from his defensive point of view, but he's been one of our best signings this season so far. So I'm hoping for a similar impact from Ayew, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can I just say thank you to Nomad? $5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you very much. Ant's not here. So I'll leave the comments up till he gets back. There you go, Ant. That's for you. Can I just mention Anderlecht again, paying the price? Ant's reaction was hilarious. Thanks for the quality content and hard work. And
thank you.
Uti is a legend.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate
it.
What a lovely super chat that is.
When you're right, you're right. Thank you, Nomad. You're a legend. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. Anderlecht. Forgot that one.
Yeah.
Guys, if you got any questions,
sorry,
I'm just going to question Ben. If you got any questions, chat, please drop them in the question box, which I'm hoping is at the top. I can't see it.
Yes, it's there. It's there.
For anyone of the panel, but try and keep it related to the sort of transfers if we can.
Yes.
So just very quickly, Ant, before you go, and chat, please answer this at the same time. Who would you start up front with, bearing in mind that Ayu's been playing kind of that fox in the box for his last club. Maybe that means he's lost a little bit of pace on the left. Who would you play up front? Would it be Wood or would it be Ayew? Obviously, and or just stick a one-year in there as well and Surridge because they're both with us. So yeah. About you guys, who would you play as out of those up front?
If he's had enough training and he's fully fit, I'd probably start with Chris Wood.
Chris Wood.
Against Leeds, I think his physical abilities will help us against their team. I think one of their strengths is the centre backs aren't too bad at all, but we need to keep them occupied to be able to push up the field. I genuinely love to see us play a 4-2-3-1, but we'll see because it's likely that they're going to play with two strikers. So how does so we'll see how Cooper contracts that. So that might negate the ability to use a play two in midfield. He might have to play with three, but when we see, you got to see who's available and what works in that formation. But I'd like to see Danilo get a start, certainly from our point of view, and build a midfield round him because he's a fantastic player, and I think if we can get the best out of him, then we can be more solid in that area of the field. But also see who he plays in the centre as centre backs because Bolly's seems to be back. And does he put him in with Worrell, or does he put Felipe straight in? We don't know. So it'll be interesting to see which of our new signings actually make a debut on Sunday. But I would think Keylor Navas will come straight in.
Yeah,
and he'll play playing goal. And
I think they're all eligible, but Felipe, I don't know. What do you think? Are they going to risk him? He's not really played much, has he?
Yeah, that's the only thing. He's fit, he's not carrying an injury or anything. It's purely down to he's not had much. He played 4 games, hasn't he, for Atleti this season? So that's the only
280 odd minutes of football,
Yeah, so that would be the only thing that's possibly holding him back. But yeah, I mean, do you guys want to jump on that question as well?
For me, as an outsider looking in, Awani 100% starting if he's fit. If not, then I'd stick Chris Wood in there. Surridge would be my third choice. And as for Ayew, I wouldn't even play him as a number 9.
Okay. And
a 1 year without doubt, but obviously he's not fit. So I would also put Chris Wood up there. I think
most of the chat have said Wood actually. So
we can use him, as has been said, as a battering ram, and also we've got Scarpa with those delicious balls as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Probably for me, the surprise signing of the window, John Joe Shelvey. I am actually quite excited.
Really?
Seeing him play for Forest. And again, he's a bit of a legend in Newcastle, isn't he? And what's your opinion on that signing? And where do you think he'll play? What sort of role do you think he'll play within Forest? And again, chat, you get your comments in there, please, on John Joe Shelvey.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. When it was first announced, I was not very enthused by it. But on reflection, the guy's got incredible passing ability. He has got some dog about him. He has been a good player for a number of years. The only concern I have is fitness. That's the only concern I have. A fully fit John Joe Shelvey, I would be quite happy to have in my field. But that's sorry. I had a shut up. Sorry, I'm talking to somebody else off screen.
I'm hearing those voices again.
Yeah, I know.
We know which voice it is I'm hearing, don't we?
Yeah, we do. It's the 70th minute sub. That's what we're hearing.
Sorry. I'll just quickly recap before I lost my concentration. Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed at first, but now on reflection, I think he is a quality player. He's got great passing ability. He's got a bit of dog about him. He puts himself about. If he can get fit and stay fit, I think he's a quality addition to the squad.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of a horny chatting tonight, haven't we?
What do you think, Utty?
Why have we signed Wood, for God's sake?
What do you think, Utty? How do you feel about John Joe Shelvey?
You know what? People like to take the piss out of the guy, number one, because his career didn't quite go as expected. When he was at Charlton and Liverpool, you're thinking, this guy's going to be an England regular moving forward. And secondly, obviously, the fucking Voldemort memes and that. But honestly speaking, he's a really good player. And you just look at the reaction from Newcastle supporters. I've got quite a few of them subscribed to my channel, and they are all gutted to see him go. Obviously, he's probably not going to be playing that big a part moving forward with where they're aiming to go. But as things stand, let's not forget, just last season, he was a key player for them staying up. And I reckon at Forest, he's going to play in that number 6 position. He's going to need legs around him, that's for sure, because he doesn't cover that much ground. But if the ball's at his feet, mate, he can do a lot.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah,
That's it.
And he can hit the odd goal from 30 yards as well, which is always welcome.
Yeah.
He's got a strike on him.
Man, trademark.
Guys, 39 likes. Come on. We're flying solo without Wolverine. This is my first live. Cut me some slack. Just give us some love, or just, abuse, whatever. But just click that like button. Click the like button. Ez, what's your opinion? Where do you think Shelvey will play? Do you think he'll be more in midfield, or do you think he's going to sit in that DM role?
Yeah, no, I see him as and I'm going to use the FIFA term here, so don't shoot me down, guys. But he's going to be like a deep lying bombardier midfielder. He's
like
gonna,
yeah.
He can take the ball off for centre backs and turn and spray a pass. He's not going to be pushed off the ball too easily. Freuler's been playing that role at the moment, but I still find Freuler a little bit lightweight in that role. I think he can, when the high press is on us, he gets a little bit uncomfortable doing that. But when you got a stronger physical player like Shelvey doing that, I think it will free up Danilo as well, because I think Danilo can play that role, and at times Cooper will employ him in that role, but I want him to have a bit more freedom. And we've seen he's box to box. We saw little glimpses even in the Manu game. You would have seen that
almost scored.
It was a similar, I think, in the first leg as well, but Johnson didn't see him. He made the run. He was clear in space, and Johnson should have squared it to him. So he has got those box to box abilities, and I don't want to see Danilo restricted to playing that CDM or number 6 role. I think Shelvey, once he's fit, he'll do that role well. And you alluded to it, Uti. He played a vital part in Newcastle staying up, and even this season he's played a dozen games or so for them. People think he hasn't had lots of minutes on the pitch, but he's been.
And that's mostly because of injuries as well.
Yeah, mostly because of injuries, and he's coming back. So hopefully, when he's back and he's fully fit, he can do that role. And I think again, he's a big character, tons of experience in the Premier League. I'll be honest, I kind of dismissed him initially, and I said he was just a championship quality player. But I've seen more of him, and you're right about how the Newcastle fans have been taken to him leaving. They're upset. They can. I think most of them wish him luck and are
they wish
happy
him
to see him. Yeah, but they wouldn't have minded holding on to him, and he became a little a cult hero in his 7 years up there. So I'm hoping for big things from him.
There's a couple of comments here. One from Keith, who's got some good comments tonight. Actually, Shelvey does about 10% as Freuler, and also from Adam Red, who said you definitely need somebody to do the running for Shelvey. Does he need to run that much, or do you think his footballing brain and experience will just mean that he can hold that position? I mean, Partey doesn't do a lot of running, does he, at Arsenal?
I mean, for me as an outsider looking in, if you're heading into the big game where you're going to need to cover legs, probably don't play Shelvey at all, or you bring him up if you're leading. But when you need to try and break an opposition down, he's probably the perfect man to have in there. Because, imagine going to Man City away or something. You can't afford to have someone who just doesn't cover that much ground.
Yep.
Let's move on to, again, a real surprise signing. We were in for so many goalkeepers during the January window. It was ridiculous. But in the end, we ended up with Navas. And literally, it was touch and go right to the last minute.
Yeah.
And Navas, are you a fan? And how is he going to fit in when Hendo's fit again?
Well, he's obviously has been a quality goalkeeper. I have my concerns as whether he still is a quality goalkeeper. He's always had the odd mistake in him. He's not the best in the world at coming out and collecting the ball from high crosses. That concerns me. And Hendo is definitely number one. 100% he's number one.
You concur with that, Ez?
I think he'll let them battle it out. I don't think he's going to guarantee any of them a first team spot. And I think if Navas comes in and he makes an impact, it's his shirt to lose. I don't think Cooper's fair on that one. You might wait till he goes on international break and then swap the shirts over, but like he did with Horvath last season and Samba. But I think it's always the next man up, and I'm just so I'm glad because I think we all agreed that Hennessy's just not the backup that we need at the Premier League level. And this gives him a real competition. And even Hendo, not that it's affected Hendo's ability this season, not having real stiff competition, but I think stiffer competition is only going to bring out the best in him, and he's got to expect wherever he goes in his career he's going to have competition. So if he can't handle it, and he does, and I don't think Hendo will throw his toys out of pram. I genuinely don't think he was, and I don't think he's actually that far away. I think he'll be back sooner for selection than we initially thought.
That's just answering to Adam Red there. No, I don't think he's out for the season.
No, I don't think he is at all.
Unless the Voodoos. There was a bit on Twitter earlier on the High Press channel about the voodoo doctors in the medical team, but we won't cover that because that was part of the argument between.
Yeah, but I genuinely think like Cooper doesn't want to take the risk, even with this one, even if it's one more league game that Hendo's out for. I don't think Cooper wants to take the risk with Hennessy in goal on Sunday, and it might just be for this one game that Keylor Navas has to come in, but. We won't take the risk. We certainly can't afford to drop any more points at home. We've lost too many 6-pointers at home this season against Bournemouth and Fulham. This is a massive one. We win this, we're 6 points clear of Leeds, and we put them further into the mire. And we've got to be ruthless. Forest are going through this spell now where we're going to be coming up against a few teams. We've got Everton not far away. So we've got to be ruthless in these games and get this gap between us and the relegation zone extended, and then just worry about where we are then. And I think that's how we'll be looking at it.
Do you know what? For me, I reckon Navas is going to be number one now going forward, even when Henderson returns from injury. Maybe if you'd signed him on a permanent basis, Henderson that is, would have been a different story, given they're both on loan. Just play the better keeper. And honestly speaking, I mean, let's not forget Navas made more appearances than Donnarumma just last season.
Yeah, he did.
And he wouldn't have made this move to play second fiddle at all. He'll be expecting to start. He was at the World Cup, still captain of Costa Rica, their best ever player. I reckon it's his shirt to lose, honestly. Unless he drops a couple of clangers, I can't see Henderson getting back into it.
It's the law of a Premier League, isn't it? Most players, top players, want to at some point in their career, even if it's right at the end of their career, they want to spend a stint in the Premier League. So I'm not that surprised that he came to the Premier League. Obviously, I'm surprised he came to our club, but I think he's fulfilling probably a lifelong dream to play here.
Yeah.
Good point by Owen there, and they're both on-lane keepers at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yeah.
And sorry, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, a couple of things. Certainly, listening to Navas's interview, he didn't sound like he come here to play number 2, I must admit. He came here, he says, to get Forest into the Champions League. So, I like the winning mentality. And secondly, I've had a grovelling, snivelling bloody message from, what's his name, begging to come on. So I think we should get him on.
It's the 70th minute substitute, guys.
Turn on a naughty step. Let's be the bigger man here.
Okay, so it's your decision, mate.
So you doing a Mangala then, Ant? Or are you doing a Mangala
None of us are doing a Mangala.
No.
Okay.
We're fielding an extra man, which is something I've advocated for us doing for quite some time, fielding an extra man.
Okay, oh my. Bring the sub on.
There he is.
That's what he thought. He's not staying on if I'm on.
Oh, it's a straight swap, is it?
One or the other.
Yeah. Not until I get an apology from him. Is he coming back on? By the way, chat, there's a poll in there. Yeah. Do you want to replace Ant with Uti? Get your votes in.
Even I'm gonna have to vote on that one.
Fucking hell.
All FFT members as well. You're welcome to vote on this poll, right? At the moment, I don't like the reading because it's not high enough. You've got the option of yes, no, or we want both. I might delete the option of we want both.
The fencing option, yeah.
I like the option yes. So get your votes in. And tonight we can have on-air sacking. Unless someone wants to apologize. How are you?
I need to watch this shit back, man. Like, what went down yesterday?
Probably I'll get the sacking.
How are you? It's good to see you, buddy.
Oh, good, man. What about yourself?
I'm good, yeah. I'm happy apart from with one person. Good to see the rest of you boys. Are you all well?
Yeah, good, mate.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Glad
to see you.
Good.
Yeah.
The vote is still in favour of not getting rid of Ants. I don't like it. But we have a Q&A as well. There's loads of questions for you, Uti. You're definitely more popular than Ant. It's good to see. So, can we ask you some of these questions, buddy?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Firstly, from Lights Out, hope Lights Out as well. Uti, can we get an oh yeah, please?
And oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do I do oh yeah? Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There needs to be a swear word in there.
That's not my thing. I don't do that.
I don't
I
know.
don't know, maybe Lights Out is a new one, you know. David wants to know, when will you be doing a Palmeiras video? Are you thinking of doing any?
A Plameiras video? No, not really, to be honest. I mean, I just did the Danilo and Scarpa ones, but if you want, I'd be happy to. Just let me know.
Just
what
do a
sort of
Everton
content
one.
you want.
Goalkeeper.
Get Ant back. Chat, do you want Ant back in or not, chat? I mean, seriously, he was really rude.
Have the
yesterday.
emojis
Yeah,
in there. Go
swap
on.
me out with Ant. I need a
No,
win.
no, do you know what you're saying? Otherwise, we have no host, right? If you want Ant in, put some Ant emojis in the chat.
Go on.
Let's find out if you want Ant back. Let's ask a couple more questions to Uti. Which of the three, this is from Chris, which of the 300 signings does Uti think is our best?
Danilo, easy.
Yeah?
Danilo.
Didn't even hesitate.
That kid could get into any club in world football. I'm telling you that.
Not Scarpa.
I really like Scarpa, but Danilo is going to be something else, mate. World-class player in the making.
I think
There's a lot of guys asking you that question. Sly's asked it as well, and a few others. And also, Owen's asking more generally here. Who was the best signing in the Premier League this January, in your opinion, Uti?
I reckon Mudryk for Chelsea. I mean, he cost a pretty penny, no doubt about it. But he's a player, man. Like, I've been watching a lot of European football. I'd say after Kvaratskhelia at Napoli, this guy's pretty much as good as it gets. And Arsenal really missed the trick with that one. I don't know why they couldn't get it over the line, but Chelsea have well and truly hit the jackpot. Enzo Fernandez is a close second. You know, I had him down to win the Young Player at the World Cup, and he did deliver. But Mudryk is something else. I know it ended 0-0 today, but he'll show his class eventually.
Okay. There are some ant emojis in the chat. Should we bring
there
it
are,
back?
man. Fuck, there's a
Let's
lot
get
of
him
them.
back. He's been in exile long enough.
I know.
Oh my! Bring the bell end
Bring the
back.
pensioner back.
There he is.
Wait! Keep Dino in as well, Lee.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then there were
we go.
five.
Ah, it's too many.
That's
It's
okay.
in my eyes.
there we go.
Ant, are you ready to apologize?
Yo, I need to know what went down.
Well, you have to watch the stream yesterday to know what went down, mate. Yeah. Guys in the chat who were in the members stream yesterday, should Ant apologize or not for his rudeness? His rudeness. Pathetic. Oh my God. Keith and Cooper. All right, let's move it along. And let's keep the conversation flowing. Uti, give us the insight on Leeds, man. How good? You got quite a few Leeds fans on the channel, haven't you? They've been busy. They've been busy, haven't they? And we've just spoken to Oscar as well. It was fantastic. But are there any players that we should be worried about for the Sunday match against Leeds from their new signings?
Look, from their new signings, I don't think any of them are going to be the sort that are going to make an instant impact. But in the long term, they're going to be brilliant. Like Jorginho Rudder, still only a kid. He's going to grow into a world-class player, in my opinion, from what I've seen at least. But for the weekend, I wouldn't be worried about any particular individual. But I'd say Leeds were probably in the top 5 in terms of the moves they made. Chelsea number 1, Southampton, Forest obviously in there as well. But yeah, they did really well.
And they've kind of moved, haven't they? Oscar was telling us Harrison's moved into the middle now into a number 10 position. They've got the how do you say his name again?
Nanto.
Nonto.
I asked Ez, not you, Ant.
That kid can play,
He's a
But
great
I don't
player,
think he's
isn't
in the side, is he, for Sunday?
No, he is.
Yeah.
I've seen a predicted 11 that's not got him in it.
Yeah, but
Really?
yeah.
Guys in the chat, who are you worried about from this Leeds team? I've just got a bad feeling, man. I've got a bad feeling. Am I the only one?
Who's at home?
I think you are the only one.
We are.
Are you guys at home? Oh, you're at home.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're at home.
Yeah. Oti, when you get a chance, just check your subscriber count because it looks like you're very close. You're very close. Guys, we've got to get him to 5K. He's 499 and I can't see
Oh,
it.
exactly 4990. 10 more, bro.
Oh,
10 more.
Come on,
All right.
guys.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, right? If you get him to 5K right now, I will forgive Ant.
Yes. That's an incentive.
So
damn.
it's all
Drop the
on
bombs
you
out.
guys now, right?
And use all your burner accounts, Ant.
He's used them all already.
Unsubscribe right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, guys, so if we can push out.
Just
I'm sure most of you are already subscribed to Uti already, but those who aren't, please do click on the link, and I'm sure
Really appreciate
it.
Dino,
Yeah.
look up.
What?
Look up.
Yeah, look above your frame.
Just lift your head up, Dino.
That's like an egg with glasses.
Hey, the Dino emoji's making a little appearance.
Oh,
Wow.
Brothers.
it's got the egg
Oh
emoji.
my god.
Yeah, Keith, Rodrigo's definitely out.
He's
He is
out,
100% out. So we had a chat with Oscar.
Yeah.
And he's definitely out. Apparently, Bamford is going to be fit as well. Uti, what do you think of Bamford? He's had a bit of a hit and miss with injuries, hasn't he? A lot of the time. Is he a player?
Bamford.
Yeah. Is he a player you rate at all? Sorry.
No, see, the thing with Bamford is
I love that.
I just
Keep
feel
it
sorry
on.
for the lad,
Keep it on.
honestly.
Huh?
Yeah, I was just saying, the season Leeds came up, finished in the top half. He was fucking brilliant, but injuries have just screwed him over. Like, he was in the England squad as well, but
Yeah.
it's a shame to see. I do rate him as a player, but the amount of injuries he's had over these last, 18 or so months, it's going to be tough. When he is fit, he has been scoring goals, but he's pretty much out for 70% of games, and availability is pretty much the best ability, which he's clearly lacking right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I just couldn't take you seriously with Dino with the egg on his face, quite literally, for a second, which is quite funny.
I love it.
Dino, I'll head back over to you. I mean, chat, keep the questions coming in to Uti because he is an absolute legend. And I swear, if you guys get him to 5K right now, I will forgive Ant live on air. So get them in.
Big call, bro. Oh, that's a big call.
Lorraine's got a question for you, Uti. She says, Uti said now, Felipe has signed to Forest. We are easily top 4. Does he stick by this and is he prepared to put money on it? I.e. FFTV donation. Ooh, interesting.
Wait. Top 4 for what?
Let me reread it word for word. Uti said now Felipe has signed to Forest. We are easy top 4. Does he stick by this? And is he prepared to put money on it, i.e. donations into Forest Fan TV? You don't get the easy questions here, mate.
No. What I meant when I said top 4 was in terms of transfers in the January market. So Chelsea's number 1, and then Forest are within that bracket with Leeds and Southampton. That's what I was getting at. In terms of the league table, I mean, top half is a possibility, but top 4, that's probably asking for a bit too much.
Lorraine, is he backing down here, Lorraine? You need to tell us because it sounds like he's backtracking. So you think Chelsea had a better transfer window, do you?
I think they're the best. No one even came close. I mean, it's unfair. They spent about 350 million quid, but they signed 3, 4, 5 of the best young talents going around. So can't take that away.
Do you think it's okay what they did? Do you think it's okay what they did? Like the way they're getting these 8-year-long contracts, spreading the cost out, and basically trying to disrupt the whole of European signings and everything. How do you feel about it?
I fucking hate Chelsea, honestly. They did the same shit when Abramovich first came to the club. They completely ruined the transfer market in 2004. Now they're doing it again, and obviously
they drove the prices up, didn't they?
Yeah.
They literally drove the prices up.
They did, and now with these 8-year contracts, FIFA, or whichever organization is in charge of this, they've clamped down, and they're like, you can't be doing this shit because they're not doing it just because they want to be giving that player like a long contract. They're doing it to find a loophole around finances. So
Yeah,
I can't stand that lot, man. Like, it's not good for football. Not good at all.
no.
The thing about that situation is that it's okay as it is. I mean, a lot of clubs have spread the payments out over a contract, but with giving out 8-year contracts, the issue they could have is if those players don't bang, they've got them on very high wages for 8 years. They're going to be very difficult to shift a player on that sort of contract. That's where they
100%.
could fall down.
Well, our
They are
longest
And I
one's
tell you what,
Danilo, isn't it?
Yeah,
And they won't
especially in
be
the
able to do
modern
this
day
every
game. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just
Well,
saying in the modern day game, a lot of them, they're just going to take their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
No matter what they do, they're set for the next decade,
Yeah, exactly. Where's the motivation? Where's a need to even try anymore? It's pathetic that we can do this sort of stuff. But Dino was going to say something about with Danilo's contract. We've done a similar thing, but it's not anywhere near that kind of level in terms of what he's going to be getting paid. And it is a progressive contract from what we can see. Let's just hope he sticks with us and throughout that time, and we manage to get the best out of him, because there is a danger that bigger clubs come in, further down the line.
But
But then it's big,
with
big
Danilo.
books, isn't it? It's big books. That's the way you have to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, money is what's driving all this. I agree with Uti. I hate the way Chelsea have done all this stuff. And then I look on the other side. I look at the cash richest club in the world, Newcastle, and they could have done this and they haven't done it. I like the way they've done their business. I'm not a closet Toon Army fan, but I do actually like the way they've done their business. I think we've got the right manager. They haven't gone hell for leather and spent money for the sake of spending money. And the players that we've got in tend to be, working in the structure that he's trying to set up. And it's just a shame
but
that
Ez,
mess it up. Go on.
if the Greek father whipped out his wallet, slapped it on the table and started buying everyone up, how would you feel about that?
If we players
love
that
it.
need and we could justify getting it on, we'd absolutely love it. We're not complaining, are we?
So
But
you're a
we're in-
hypocrite. You're a fucking
No.
hypocrite.
No, because we're doing it differently, aren't we? We're not
it's
we're
not,
not
though.
buying
That's not the
out
question. The question
Well, it
is
is,
if the
because
Greek father decided to whip it out right
Mm.
now and just start splashing the
about his
cash.
wallet, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about his wallet. And he just bought everyone Chelsea style. Would you be happy or not?
I think it's a different matter altogether.
Because it's Forest.
It's a different matter altogether. Well,
How's
yeah,
that
because,
different?
okay, if he did the same thing and he was buying all the best young players in Europe and putting them on these 8-year contracts, and we got criticism for it, I'd accept the criticism. I wouldn't obviously be upset. It's my team buying all these top players, but I would accept the criticism coming in from outside influences. So yeah, I wouldn't like him to do that, but I wouldn't complain about it.
Football fans in general are so
It's just one of them things, isn't it? Like, if it's your own
Sure,
club, you're
sure.
obviously going to be happy with it. But if
Exactly,
not,
yeah.
it's going to wind you
So
up.
he's a hypocrite. Guys in the chat, would you be pissed off or not if the Greek father just whips it out like that? Yeah, and
Bro,
I don't know,
we are all hypocrites here.
It gets
Every
water.
football fan is a massive hypocrite.
Yeah.
If Forest put in a £300 million bid for Haaland tomorrow, I don't think many Forest fans would be going, "Oh, that's terrible."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let's
we're
go.
not going to complain.
Yeah.
It's just when it all comes tumbling down, isn't it? Which has
Yeah.
happened in the past with teams. They've
Oh,
spent
that's-
big and it's all come tumbling down.
What really winds me up about Chelsea is the complete scattergun approach. I mean, he wanted Cristiano Ronaldo at one point, Todd Bowley, ends up sacking Thomas Tuchel, brings in Graham Potter, who just doesn't fit into the ethos of that club. I don't know. He's a dead man walking. He's gonna get the sack before the end of the season, in my eyes.
Yeah.
I swear, this chat just cracks me up every time. Let's see then. Is what you're saying really that you're just jealous of Chelsea? Because let's face it, man, you lot got Weghorst, the slow ass donkey, yeah? And Chelsea have been buying prime, stallions, man. It's jealousy, man. You hate Chelsea from jealousy here, man.
Look at the table, bro.
Wait till Manchester United get their new owners and start doing the same thing. Let's see what the Man U
Exactly.
fans say then.
This is it.
What
Yeah.
Ant's saying is spot on, because us in Liverpool, we're going to have new owners come this summer, and it's going to
Yeah.
be a different ball game then. But yeah, our owners are fucking dog shit, man. I can't wait till they leave.
I like them. I think you lot are all hypocrites, man. Like they've spent 1.4 billion, on players.
I think the main criticism from United supporters isn't so much the spending, because they have spent a shit ton. It's just the fact that they haven't actually got footballing people in there to make those sort of decisions. So they've just literally burnt and wasted away money.
Otti, you know what confuses me sometimes, right?
Uh-huh.
I've heard football fans say this.
Yeah.
I mean, our owners are interfering. Should leave it to the manager. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If it's not working, and then the next week they're saying our owners are always interfering. They should leave it to the manager. Do they want? Do football fans want owners to be involved and interfere, or not? Because it seems whichever one doesn't work, it's the fault of the owners.
Look, in my eyes, what should be the case, especially in the modern day game, is you get in a sporting director, give them the entire responsibility, and owners, they just contribute financially. They don't get themselves involved in terms of the footballing decisions. Leave it to the sporting director. And what that means is even managers don't exactly get the final say, because say they get sacked. Like, say, look at Spurs right now. If Conte ends up getting sacked and they want to bring a new man in, it's going to be really tricky, because most of them are only suitable for a back five or back three, whatever you want to call it. If someone wants to go to four at the back, then they're going to have a tough time of it. So I think that's why a sporting director should have pretty much all the power when it comes to transfer market decisions.
Yeah, but Spurs is an interesting example, because if you look at it, it's Levy that sanctions a lot of the deals. Look at Spence. Yeah. Spence was bought without Conte's wanting him.
100%. He even said it in his first press conference.
So is there a certain... Oh my God, I've just seen Dean's head at the bottom. It's just moving around. But is there a certain bit of... There has to be a bit of balance between like the sporting director and the manager, where there's just a bit of cohesion going on. Otherwise, you end up with a Spence, don't you?
100%. So what I think should be the case is you target managers who play a certain brand of football. Say someone like a Conte, he's a million miles away from Pochettino. Like, it's night and day. If you, instead of just going for the big names, the CV and all of that, you got to focus on what they actually produce in terms of tactics. And if you do that, then you're most likely to be aligned with one another. Yeah.
I mean, prime example to show what our out of touch Tottenham's hierarchy is. They've just paid 40 million for Porro, who is a 100% Conte player. Yeah. He's an attacking wing back, one of the best in Europe without doubt. Yeah. But he can't defend. So if the next manager comes in and he doesn't play that style, they've got a player there that's just not right. So that shows that Tottenham's thinking at the top is not right, because they're buying a player specifically for a manager that's not likely to even be there in 6 months' time. Yeah. So, that shows how disconnected the hierarchy are.
I mean, with Spurs, it's a really weird one. You always feel like something's simmering under the surface, because Conte clearly knows he's too good for that club based on everything that he's achieved. And he's pretty much moaning to the media every time they don't win a game. So I feel like that signing was just completely out of pressure on the board. He's kept putting the pressure on them. And it was a move I suppose they had to make, but you make a brilliant point, man, because that kid Porro, fantastic player, love watching him, but I haven't ever seen him in a back four ever. So
no.
Yeah.
He
Can I just mention this? Spacebar, congrats on beating Man U in the final. I think Cooper saying it is done. Right. Cooper mentioned in the press recently that it is kind of done by committee, isn't it? The transfers. What players do you think Cooper actually wanted in this January transfer window? I mean, obviously, Ayew was probably one because he's worked with him before. Yeah. Who else? Who else is a Cooper signing, in your opinion, Uti?
Guys in the chat, same question to you lot. Out of the 6, who do you think Cooper wanted and who didn't he want? Sorry,
honestly, the only one that's a no-brainer is definitely Ayew. I think that was completely his say. Maybe one of the English lads, whether that be Shelvey, or not English lad, sorry, he's Kiwi, but yeah, Chris Ward or John Joe Shelvey. Brazilians, almost certainly not. That was done by the scouting network. So,
that's normal, isn't it? Yeah. The manager can't be over in Brazil scouting Brazilians, can he? So
it's not the 90s anymore,
Well, that's why they call them coaches now, isn't it?
Yeah.
First team coach. Yeah, they changed that from the Clough days. I mean, Clough and Taylor used to choose everybody, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, Adam thinks it's Wood and Danilo. I don't think on Danilo. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
Oh, you
I
say
don't
that,
think-
but he played Danilo straight away, didn't he? He didn't mess about.
Yeah.
The same as Scarpa,
He
really.
definitely liked Danilo. He definitely
Yeah.
liked him, you know.
He did like Danilo.
Interesting. Simon's saying Wood. You guys, I don't
know
know.
what? Do you know what? I reckon, yeah, Wood and Shelvey are pretty
Wood
decent
and
shots.
Shelvey, yeah, I think so. Wood, Shelvey, and Ayew, I think would definitely been players that he would have had influence on bringing in. But I don't think he had influence. I don't think he made a decision on Danilo, but I definitely agree that he likes him. And
I think you know what is. I think with people like Danilo, right? I think I don't know this. I'm assuming something like this will happen because I do believe that Cooper is involved. I think that they would scout Danilo, and then they would show him the videos
Yeah,
to
of course.
Steve Cooper and say, "Do you think that this player could work
Hold
in
on,
your
hold
system?"
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All the
yeah,
YouTube
absolutely.
compilations.
Yeah, he wouldn't have physically gone over there and seen him play, but he certainly would have had that feedback from the
so.
scouts. And
I'm sure he would have had
obviously
his say, yeah.
yeah, and Scarpa would have had a say. Scarpa literally played with him for the last few years, so he's seen him grow up as well as anybody else has. So he would have definitely have had his say as well, and that's how it works. And that's why I said I like about the groups that they're bringing in. The Brazilians, they've got their own little group now. You know, there's players that Cooper's brought in to help knit that group together, which has been an issue. There's no doubt about it. It's been an issue behind the scenes in the first half of the season, and that's what we're trying to address with some of these players. And you can see the reflection on it on the 25-man squad. There's players in there that are probably. There's players that aren't in there that probably would have thought they would have been in there, obviously, at the start of the season, and they've fallen out of favour for various reasons. And it's more likely for what's gone on behind the scenes rather than their actual ability on the field.
You hit the nail on the head, man, because these sort of things are, you know, they often go under the radar. Because even at Man United, we had Matteo Darmian, who's at Inter right now. Because he didn't have another mate who spoke Italian, he was sort of like considered a loner in the squad. Didn't have any friends, found it really tough to adapt to Manchester. So those are the sort of things, especially when you're coming over from South America, straight to Nottingham. Like, it's a big cultural difference, the weather, the food, everything. So it's good to have those sort of guys around.
What's wrong with the food?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's just different, isn't it?
Just very quickly, I just want to shout out some of what the chat is saying in terms of who's a Cooper signing and not. The GOAT, the legend. How are you, my brother? Hope you're well. Says, I think Cooper signings with Defo, Ayew, John Joe, and Navas. Navas, an interesting one, isn't it? Because a goalkeeper was needed. They really did push hard on it. It almost was getting to Morgan Gibbs-White style in the summer, wasn't it? Where it was like, please let us have him. Do you think that one, Ati, in terms of the goalkeeper, is a Cooper one there? Or did he just want a goalkeeper, do you think?
I actually think it's the latter. He probably just wanted a goalkeeper. I mean, Navas is most certainly the best available, biggest name, probably the best in terms of ability as well. Firstly, I was even surprised that he was being brought in because Dean Henderson, I believe, is back in about a month. That's pretty damning for Hennessy, isn't it? Like, mate, not even for.
Well, the rumours are that he's only going to miss the Leeds game, so he'll actually be back in a week's time.
I doubt that.
Yeah, okay, but I think it's possible.
18th from what I know.
The craziest part about all this is you're still gonna have to buy a keeper in the summer. It might be one of these two, but
exactly.
Exactly.
We all want Endo. That's who we want.
Yeah, we all want Dean Henderson.
I think that would be a brilliant move for both parties for sure.
I agree.
Charlie's saying, do you honestly think any player was signed without Cooper having a look at the videos first as a minimum? That would be next level insanity. I don't think anyone's saying that, Charlie. I just think we're debating how the hierarchies work in there, unless you're pointing that to someone in the chat. We got a couple of questions for you, Utsi. This is from, well, I like this. I don't like this person's brother, but I like this person. It's Stanny the Fourth. He says, Uti, I take it your central heating is off in your household.
It is fucking freezing in here.
Tell them where you are. Tell them where you are and what the temperature is there.
I'm in Washington, D.C. at the minute. It's -5 outside. So the thing with the heating here is it's like broken. It's either on or off. And when it's on, it is boiling. So unless you want me to do this naked, you're gonna have to.
Don't even
on it, fine.
That's a member. That's a members only stream.
Yeah, guys, get a super chat in.
Only fans, Uti only fans.
Yeah, get your super chats in if you
If we
want
get him to
see
5,000, then you get free membership to his only fans.
Oh, yeah. Can we have a subject?
Where are we there? Where are we on the?
I've got to ask
996, just 4 more to go.
Four more guys.
Please.
So close.
It's so cool to get it to 5,000 tonight.
Lee, spam those links in. Everyone go press it right now. It's in the title. You don't have to go far.
Really good content.
I've got to ask you this question, Uti. I've got to ask it to you because we had this debate the other day and we had quite a long list. Yeah.
Right.
Again, it's from Stan. Maybe we replace Ant with Stan. Anyway,
Yeah.
Uti says, which United player has the most slappable face? And everyone in the chat, I want your answer as well. If you had to punch one player in the face.
Oh, I've got a long list. Last night I went through the team.
Do you know you got to narrow it down, mate? Narrow that list down.
It's going to be a toss-up between Bruno and Antony.
Yeah. That's the two I said.
Wait, there's times I want to
put Ganacho in there as well. Ganacho.
Yeah, Ganacho for his haircut.
But you got to pick one, Uti. You got to pick one.
Antony.
Antony,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not
Interesting.
this one.
He's-
Not this
Uti.
one. He doesn't mean this one.
He just
That's a
he
good
walks
choice.
around like he's got to stick up his ass like all the time.
Uti, one of the chat said last night.
Is that why it spins?
Yes.
Wait, Dino, let me shout some of these out. Sims is saying Anthony, Official saying Colback, Adam saying Maguire, Owen saying Canaldo.
Fernandez.
Maguire has got a punchable face, mate. It's
He's
nothing
got
about
No,
he just.
the chat said last night that Maguire looks
no,
like
no.
he's been punched already several times.
Yeah.
I'm a spacebar, every single one of them. David saying David De Gea, Anthony from Nomad, Fernandez or Anthony says Brett. Man,
Yeah.
Bruno is very popular, man. He'd have a pretty ass Bruce face in the morning. Fernandez from Brinley, Fernandez from Jones. Space R says Fernandez the gerbil and his constant moaning.
I can't even deny that. Like, it gets on my tits as well. Because there's times when he's just so, like, just play the game, mate. He spends half the time on the ground. He's a great player, but it does my head in.
That's what's annoying, isn't it, Otti? He's such a good player. He doesn't need to do that shit.
He doesn't need to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
And in fact,
it's
you know what's
obviously
funny?
part of his
I'm not sure if it was
personality, isn't
against Forest, but a couple of games ago, Fernandez and Antony actually got into a bit of a verbal spat on the pitch.
What, with each
I don't
other?
remember who it was against.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's my other one.
I'd just love to hit any one of them. I'd pay good money for it. I really would. I love that question. Nathan. Spot on question. Cool. All right. One of yours can talk now. I'll shut up.
There was a reference earlier, Uti, to your jacket as well. It was a Drake reference, and it was a Hotline Bling. So that you got the Hotline
Oh,
Bling.
I see that. That's a good one, man. Eagle Eye.
You got to sing now, mate. Unfortunately, for the next super chat.
Keith says Steve Bruce looks like he's been punched by everyone he met. He's
been punched by all 96 clubs.
Okay. This is interesting. Outside of Manchester United, I mean, Richarlison needs a good punch. I mean, Jono sorted
That's
him out.
a strong word there. Pull that back up. That's a strong word. Richarlison.
Yeah.
That's a strong word.
Oh, a C-bomb in the chat.
My God.
Don't be swearing, lads.
Yeah. You didn't see Uti doing that. Yeah.
I get offended very easily.
I'm just going to the toilet, so Dino, you're back in charge.
Yeah, okay. Uti. Right,
Yeah,
let's go forward 1 year right from now, okay?
Yeah.
Where are Forest going to be next year? Bearing in mind we've got another crazy transfer window in the summer available, you know, another 12 players maybe.
You know what? I reckon.
Where do you see us next year? Championship or top 4?
I reckon you're going to be around 9th or 10th if you have another decent window. You're not going down. Absolutely no chance of that. I'd bet my house on it. And in terms
We're
of
talking next season or this season?
This season, you're not going down. No way.
Yeah.
There's 3 worse teams than you, 100%.
Who are the 3 worst teams?
Bournemouth,
Yeah.
Everton,
Good question.
Southampton.
Southampton probably.
I love Everton too.
Bournemouth?
Man. Absolutely. I don't know why, but I hate them.
Who's Southampton?
Everton. You can't hate Southampton. You can't hate Southampton.
Yeah, no, I hate Everton as well. You know what? Their fans, the way they attack their players, and you can't. Can you blame Anthony Gordon for wanting to leave it? He's a 21-year-old lad, and they were in his face, attacking his car, all sorts of crap like that, and they're expecting him to show loyalty to them till the end of the season. I'm sorry, I would have done what he did.
I think what Everton actually need is to go down, just scrap everything off, and just start all over again.
And I feel that's why they got Sean Dyche in, because I think they're set for going down. He's probably the best manager to bring him back up, to be honest.
I mean, Farhad Moshiri, what an absolute muppet. He's somehow made Everton worse during this window. He sells Gordon, doesn't bring anyone in.
Well, if you're going to get rid of Lampard, which they should have done far sooner, and bring Dyche and give him the window to get his players in, and do
crazy.
It's such
madness.
Yeah, but
I think they deserve to go down.
That's perhaps why they did that, because they didn't want to spend any money, so they waited till the end of the window to bring in the manager.
But do you know what? I'm a bit disappointed that Bielsa didn't come in, because imagine that would have just been mental,
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't want them to have Bielsa, because I think did you see his letter that he sent to them and the reasons why he couldn't come straight in, and how he said he needed like 7 weeks to get his?
He wants to be in charge of the youth team first for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. That was amazing. Go on.
That's
He
interesting.
turned the heating on here.
Oh, you turn the heating on.
Thing about Bielsa is you've got to have the right players for him, and Everton haven't got the right players for him. So I don't think that would have worked with Everton at all. I think Dyche is the right appointment for them in the circumstances.
Bielsa needs a pre-season as well. Otherwise,
he needs to get those players fucking fit. I mean, really fit.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have had the time to do that. So Dyche, for me, is the right appointment in their circumstances.
100%.
Antony, what do you think about Ted Lasso? What's his face? Jesse Marsh, in terms of the style of football for Leeds?
I think they're a neutral's dream to watch. I think their games are probably the best, mate. Like, win, lose, or draw, it's always a good watch. But Jesse Marsh himself, I don't know, he strikes me as a bit of a tit. do you guys agree? Like his interviews, press conferences, like he's always just like wound up. I don't know what's wrong with him. I guess that's passion, but it's just.
I mean, I don't know how much you see of it, but okay, you're over at in the US now. What do the US soccer fans think of Jesse Marsh and what he's doing in the Premier League?
To be honest, most of them they don't really give a toss about Jesse Marsh. They're more concerned about the players. They're really happy to see the likes of Aronson, Tyler Adams all together, and they're doing a decent job. They signed a couple more, so let's see how that goes. But yeah, Jesse Marsh, I think he's a good coach, but definitely not my cup of tea.
I just don't. I know this sounds Americanist, but a manager with an American accent, I just can't take seriously in football. I don't know what it is about him. I remember after, I can't remember what matches it was, where they just lost the game and he was crying in the mic saying, "We played really well, man. We were fantastic."
It's cringy, man.
It was just like, get off, man. Go throw a baseball or something. It's like,
honestly, what you're saying is spot on. Like, some of the commentary here, when they've got like the American commentators on, it's just hard to listen. I just put it on mute, to be honest. But it's the same thing if you got like a British commentator for the NBA. It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Exactly.
I agree.
All right, let's see if we've got any more questions for you, buddy. There's loads in here. Lorraine's come back and she says, apologies, Uti. You said after Felipe signing, your prediction is Forest win the Premier League in 18 months.
Would you want to buy any money on that?
So basically, if you guys missed the video, what I said was Felipe, whichever club he's been at, they've gone on to win the league. So in Brazil, Corinthians won the league there. Then Portugal. And then obviously Atletico. So I was saying, in 18 months, watch this space, man.
That's it. She was right. Yeah. So she put 2 and 2 together and came up with that. Fair enough. We'll go
Lorraine,
with that.
you were spot on. You held his feet to the fire. I respect you for doing that.
Hey, look,
I really do.
If Leicester can win the league, why can't Forest?
Yeah.
Right.
There was a question in the chat earlier. It was from Adam. It was from Adam Red. Yeah.
Mm.
It made me laugh, and this is for everyone. Well, while we were talking about slapping and punching players, yeah.
Mm.
Which manager, he said, I don't know if Mike can dig up the comment, would you want to most punch in the face? I'm going to go, let's start with Ant. Ant, who would you want to most punch in the face, apart from yourself?
Antonio Conte.
That was an easy one, wasn't it?
Easy
Yeah.
peasy, lemon
Yeah, that was
squeezy.
mine as
Can't
well.
stand the guy. Overrated, overhyped, over here doing shit. Get rid.
Can I say mine then?
Go on.
Oh, and over the hill.
Chat, I want yours as well.
For me, it's got to be Nathan Jones at Southampton. He's got a little weasel of a face, mate. I'd love to pump.
Nathan Jones is just a weirdo. Like,
Yeah, I don't
he's a
know
very
why
strange man.
He's definitely taken him down, in my opinion. But yeah, he just got one of those
probably.
faces. I don't know what they saw in him as a Premier League quality manager. He struggles in the Championship. He's not really achieved anything.
Yes, these comments are spot on. Jurgen Klopp, man.
Yeah,
Running up
that's
and
only
down the
because he's
touchline.
Irish, isn't he? And if you hit him,
You'd break your hand on his teeth, though, wouldn't you?
yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Go on, Ant, who would you most want to punch? I'll
Me?
do this. And
I've
No,
already
sorry,
said.
Dino. Who-
Yeah, and-
Same,
I got
Conte.
I didn't Klopp, because everyone tells me.
No, Conte. It was before Ant said it. I thought straight away Conte. I don't know why. I just like to not punch him. Maybe just a running, flying headbutt would be good.
And with your head,
You
Dino.
are aggressive.
that'd be
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Do you want
exactly.
to see it in real life?
No,
Conte.
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, can't break the egg. The lucky egg. If we don't win on Sunday, then that breaks.
Then it's getting scrambled. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
it's for you, Klopp.
Klopp, without a doubt. I mean, my big issue with Klopp is that he is such a big manager within the game that the sort of shit he does is actually influential. So when he's like putting pressure on referees, it translates to the game. I remember he made a claim about Man United getting too many penalties. I don't think
That's
we've
true.
had a penalty since.
Good.
Yeah.
We haven't had a
Who have
penalty
you got a
about
soft
year.
spot for? What manager have you got a soft spot for that's not your own?
Wait,
That's not
before he
your-
answers that, wait, can I answer?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Antony, I fully agree with him, right? Paul Higging asshole.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that game. Yeah.
Yeah, what a twat, right?
I
My
should think
number
that-
one, and I don't care if he's nearly on death's door. I would love to make that red-nosed prick's nose even redder in Fergie, man.
Oi!
I would love to just headbutt him and just see how redder I could make that nose go. I don't care if he's old. But anyway,
Oh,
that's just me.
God. That's harsh. Attacking OAPs now, are we, Wolverine? Fucking hell,
Utty,
man.
Utty.
Mate, how
I
old do you think
assume-
Conte is?
Utty, I
Yeah.
assume
With
that
an
you think
OAP.
that Ferguson's the best manager to ever have been. I'd just like to ask if you believe that he would be able to take a provincial club in the lower reaches of the second division on to becoming double European champions
I get what you're
Just
getting
saying.
at.
with no money or little money. We had some.
See.
We did buy some, Francis.
And not such a red nose.
So when it comes to that sort of discussion, I think take Guardiola and Klopp, for example. I don't think Guardiola could have done what Klopp's done at Liverpool and vice versa. It's like horses for courses. So I couldn't see Fergie pulling off a Clough, sorry. But then I can't see Clough staying at the top for 20 years either. So
Yeah, that's a fair comment. That's fair.
Let's just straight out ask you the damn question, yeah, because we don't fuck around here. Who's
Yeah?
better, Fergie or Cloughy?
No question, is it?
Fergie,
Guys in
man.
the chat,
Bear in mind
get
you're
your
outnumbered.
goddamn answers in,
4-on-1.
Yeah.
and be ready to press unsubscribe depending on his answer.
No.
Honestly, I keep saying, I love Nottingham Forest, and a big reason for that is Brian Clough. I was really enchanted by him and wanted to learn more about him after watching the Damned United. I just got obsessed with Forest,
Yeah.
and
I can feel a book coming on here.
they just don't make him like him anymore, do they?
Members, can we see the Cloughy emojis in the chat, please? Please,
Yes.
just like Brett's done, just like Anthony's done. Stop avoiding the question, Utty. Ferguson or
No, I
Cloughy?
answered it. But for me, it is Sir
Utty.
Alex.
Just check your subscriber count.
Yeah.
Shit,
Can I
did it go
just,
down?
can I just jump in to defend Utty a little bit in
No.
the fact that I've always
It's
said this
exactly
about,
5,000 lads.
Yes, let's go.
Hey,
Thank you,
Well done,
guys.
everyone. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go. Well
It's all
done,
thanks to
chat.
this stream, man.
we all
Thanks,
spam
everyone.
those
Cheers.
crowd applause.
Anyway,
All right, Nan, now that you're forgiven, I'll let you talk.
oh fuck off. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I always say that we shouldn't really compare footballers from different eras because it's a different game. They're playing a different type of football. So I don't like to hear Maradona compared with Ronaldo, for example, because
Far too many
you know,
variables.
and I think it's the same with Brian Clough and Ferguson. They're from very different circumstances. So I wouldn't. No, I think Brian Clough is the best ever. Obviously, I was there. I saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
42 games unbeaten, all that business. 2 European Cups, League Cup, 4 League Cups. We all know.
Yeah.
But also, I have to respect, I guess. Oh, no, I don't. Fuck it. No, Clough's better than Ferguson. I can't do it. But what I'm trying to say is that it is difficult to compare managers at different clubs with different finances, different resources,
And eras, yeah.
different eras.
All right, just compare it like this. It's easy. I can help you. Compare Ferguson to an asshole. It's not hard. It matches. It's easy. Yeah. Compare Cloughy to a ray of light.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, you
Easy.
got a point.
Fergie was crap. I'll say it. I tell you what, he did make a lot of balls ups, tactical balls ups. I never rated him that way. And also, how long was it at Man U? 26 years?
Yeah.
3 European Cups. Biggest club in the world. Not that impressive, really. How many did Real Madrid
2
get in that
actually.
time?
Not 3, 2.
2. Oh, 2. Same as Brian Clough, who took a
Yeah.
provincial club. Yeah, makes you think, doesn't it?
And
You know what,
did
Sam?
Fergie ever do it back to back?
He came close, but not quite.
No cigar.
Exactly. Yeah, and screw Fergie time. Absolutely. And the signings he made that were meant to be the next Ronaldos, the Januzajs and Aubergines and
To be
Makedas.
fair,
He
the
definitely had a
likes of
blind spot
Januzaj
with
came after he
goalkeepers.
left.
Say again,
You know what?
I was saying
I'm gonna-
Januzaj and all of them, they came after he left.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want to
fine,
stick up
whatever.
for Fergie here. I still think Clough and
it's
Taylor
always
did
one.
an amazing thing, and I still choose Clough and Taylor. But Ferguson nearly got the sack at the very beginning of his journey with Man United.
And who
It
does
was
he have
very
to
Before my
close,
time. Yeah.
wasn't
Don't
he?
want to talk about that because that's our
And
fault.
to turn it, but he did have a great youth system coming up all at the same time, didn't he? That
Hit the jackpot.
yeah, he did
Jemba,
hit the
Jemba.
jackpot there.
Oh,
But he
should
did
we-
play
should we
attacking
ask-
football.
Should we
And
ask
you know, for a
fun
while,
Go on.
sorry, you know, for a while, I really enjoyed watching Man United under Fergie
Oh,
because
God.
they attacked and a lot. Listen,
I could
listen.
never admit to
Everyone
that.
Listen,
unsubscribe
listen.
from FFTV.
My
We
opinion,
can't have people
my
like that
opinion.
on there.
My opinion.
never admit
Right?
to it.
My opinion. Right? Everybody has their opinions.
Yeah,
I like the fact that it was the style of football I like to watch on the TV.
Yeah.
Attacking wingers. It was just great to watch.
I think
So for a time, they were kind of my second team I used to watch.
If you're
Yeah,
talking,
Okay, Dino, you're gone, mate. Sorry,
I
you're
know, I
gone.
don't give a shit. I'm
And
just,
never
I'm just
good.
telling you how it is.
yeah,
Look
it's
at
my
these
style,
two with-
yeah.
Oh, go on. Sorry, go on.
And what people
no, I was
forget
saying-
is people going about Chelsea spending all this money. Man U used to do the same thing. It's always happened in football. Liverpool used to do it in the 80s. They used to get the best players because they paid the most money. That's always happened. And Man U did it. They always bought the best players. We could never do that.
Yeah. Now, I was saying, if you want to talk about the best brand of football, you can't look past Wenger's Arsenal, especially the first 6 or 7 years, you know? I mean, I can't stand that lot, but you got to give it to them. They played some scintillating stuff.
Yeah.
And they're doing
Well,
it again.
I like watching. Even that Newcastle team under
Under Keegan.
under
Yeah,
Keegan,
that was
they're exciting to
Yeah.
watch. They were exciting to watch, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
It's now in the hand of the chat. Dino,
I'm really
sack
not.
Dino, yes or no? The poll is up. 57%.
He's on one today, isn't he?
Yeah.
Crack those eggs.
We're having a clean out. This is the 6-week clean out on FFTV. We want to know who you like and who you don't. I'd punch
I
Dino.
can't believe you're only 6 weeks old. That's crazy, man.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
great.
Okay, I wanted to have some fun, right? We saw a comment here about Jemba from, where's it gone? From
Yeah.
Big Disco. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you all,
So good
to your
they
club,
named
and
him
chat, this is for you as well. Who's the biggest flop? So for you 3 Forest players, and for you Uti, Man U players,
Already
and
know.
for you chat, Forest players, and obviously Spacebar, you give us your Newcastle one, and whoever else isn't a Forest fan in there. So who wants
I'm
to
ready.
start?
I'm ready.
Go on then, hit us with it.
Go on, then.
Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what? I'll tell you why. He didn't cost a penny. We swapped him with Mkhitaryan, but he comes in. He's not straight away. One training session, he's like, I want to get the fuck out of here. And beyond that, he completely fucks up the wage structure.
Yeah,
So then every player is asking for 300 grand a week. Ander Herrera, who was a great player for us, he ends up leaving because of that. And the entire dynamic in the dressing room, he was a big reason the club. There was a time when Mourinho was in charge where things were looking on the up. But after that signing, spoiled it all. Di Maria close second, but Alexis is number one.
Interesting. Ez, who's your?
Forest flop.
So
There's a
many.
lot of Salenzis.
That's exactly where do I start? There's been so many down the years, man.
Carvajal.
How far back do you want to go?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, in terms, that was the one that sprung to mind, Carvalho. And considering the money we spent on him and the hype built around him, I would have to say, hands down, in recent years, it's got to be Carvalho for me. Thanks for helping me out on that one.
So much crap, it's hard to pick one.
And
Yeah, I'd not. But as soon as that was mentioned, I thought it's got to be 13 million quid for a player that never ever showed us what we were expecting. I guess it's got to be purely for the money. We've had a lot of duds come in and out, and we've had players that haven't even played for us. Gary Megson never even played for us.
He managed us, so.
Yeah, I know. That was maybe
one of the comments. Yeah, one of the comments mentioned Karol Poborski. The thing is, at least he gave a shit. Like, he tried.
I like Poborski.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I've never liked a Man U player.
For Man U, I would question. I'm not certain of his second name, but it's Massimiliano
Taibbi, the goalkeeper.
Taibbi, that's him. Yeah.
He was shite.
He was. It was awful.
Yeah, he was bad, man. He was bad.
Dina, you go back a few years.
Cheers.
Take us to yesteryear, yeah. And by the way, the chat want to save you. You're on 59% save, yeah. So, are you sure you don't want to retract your comment? But anyway, your job is safe, right? Take us back to yesteryear.
It's yours that's in danger. Nobody else's.
I know. Take us to the Cloughy era. Who was the shittest player that you remember in the Cloughy era?
Fucking hell, it's a lot.
And for you more mature audience members, who are older than 21, help Dino out.
I hate saying it. It wasn't a flop, but it was probably overrated. Nant's going to hate me for this. John McGovern.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Double league champion, double European Cup winner.
Yeah, I know, but...
Phil Jones has won the lot as well.
Surely it was Justin Fashanu, wasn't it? He was
I remember watching Justin
the money they spent on him.
Ishmael Miller. Fuck, that's a blast.
Ishmael Miller, yeah. That was when we had McLaren.
But that's kind of old school Brian Clough.
Yeah.
There's so
many. There are so many.
One second, that's ridiculous,
I
man.
can't believe that you
hold on, Ant. Hold on.
Our winning team a flop.
1 second.
Hold on, Ant. Nottingham Now and Then has gifted 5 memberships. You generous motherfucker, man. You are way too kind. Thank you so much. Sarah's been gifted a membership as well. Absolutely ridiculous. Asbats has been gifted a membership. And who am I missing? And James has been gifted a membership as well. Thank you so much. Wait, there's... have I missed anyone? Silverware has been gifted a membership as well. Oh no, became a member. Thank you so much. You guys are crazy. Thank you so much, Nottingham Now and Then. Sorry,
Nottingham Now and Then. One in recent times.
Go on.
Go on.
And again, this is a bit. I know Simon Jones is in the chat. He's going to hate me for this, but Lingard.
Nah.
Utter disappointment.
In fact, that deserves an air horn as well.
You're such a dickhead.
Yeah. You want to start again, mate?
Yeah, I do.
You want to start
with me or with Wolverine?
To get forgiven, for you to get forgiven this time.
Yeah. Don't fucking start with me.
No, not you. I'm saying Uti will need 6K fans to be forgiven if he wants to start again. No, I completely agree, Dino.
Too much to
Lingard
ask
has
for.
been shit. Let's call it straight. He's been shit.
Yeah.
He had a little cameo in a cup match, yeah, where everyone was like, "Oh, Jesse, he's made it," and he couldn't even make the pitch on Wednesday.
If you look at Lingard's career, he's had about 3 spells of 6 good months. Aside from that, he's been wank.
Did you like him?
Was
at
he
Man
wank
U?
most of the time at Man United?
Oh yeah.
Did the fans what did the fans think about him at United?
I think, the thing with supporters at United is once they find a scapegoat, they just stick the knife in every time they can. Like Harry Maguire, you're seeing that right now. He's not as bad a player as he's made out to be. And it was very much the same with Jesse, but his end product's just nowhere near good enough.
I'm putting a poll on this. Because I still want to know where people's heads are with Lingard.
I have to hold my hand up. I thought he'd smash it at Forest, but wasn't to be.
No, I think we all thought that, and we were all hoping that he'd make some sort of impact, but it's just took him too long to really settle in.
Yeah.
Whatever was going on behind the scenes, and he has discussed it in recent weeks on other podcasts and spoke about his mental illnesses, and you got to obviously take that into account. But from on the field, he's been given the opportunity. I could understand if Cooper hadn't played him, but Cooper played him through everything. You know, when there was times where probably Coops was putting his neck on the line for him and giving him the chance where the most majority of the fans didn't want to see him in there. But at the same time, you know, he hasn't taken advantage of that. So you can only blame outside influences so much, but you got to take ownership yourself when it comes to on the field. It would have been surprising for him to start against. Wouldn't have been surprising for him to start against Man U, but obviously he got injured in the warm up.
Yeah.
We don't know how long that means he's out for, but I think he's going to struggle to get back into this team with the players that we've brought in. He's for me surplus.
Just leave that comment on for now. I was going to say, David, I'm not talking about what he's suffering with mentally. It's just from a purely footballing perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're going to have to argue with 71% of the chat. 71% have said he's shit.
What about Emmanuel Dennis?
Yeah. I mean, I'd put him in the same bracket, to be honest. I think he's been very disappointing.
Do you think he's had the chances, though? Really?
Spot on, Dino.
Yeah, well, I think he's...
How many games has he actually started and seen through 90 minutes?
And played in the correct position. I can think of Brentford on the left side where he started, and obviously on Wednesday.
Go on.
What was the commentator smoking? I don't know about you guys, but mine was having a pop at him for not scoring when Surridge blocked the ball. Like, how's that his fault?
Well, I had this debate as well because I thought it was a poor effort from him, to be honest. I thought he shinned it, but the guys argued with me on this one.
He was going in.
Yeah.
He lost.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not going to admit defeat on it. I think he shinned it, mate. He had time to get his foot round it, and he shinned it.
Yeah, he did have a good game, to be fair.
Yeah, but it was probably his best performance in recent weeks. So there's still light in that for me. There is still light at the end of the tunnel with Dennis. But for Lingard, I think he's had his chances. I don't think he'll be getting back in anytime soon. And probably Dennis is ahead of him in the pecking order now.
Lingard's contract expires come the summer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's off.
Yeah, he's off.
He's going MLS or something.
MLS or Saudi.
It's probably the best for him, yeah.
So in the poll, 26% say he will come good, 60% saying he's shit. Literally, I've put it up as he's shit. And then 14% saying he still has it. You know what I love about our fan base though? If Lingard was to play next week, I know he's not fit, but if he was to play and score 2 goals, that poll would say 90% say he's still got it. That's what I love about him. They'll always back him. They'll always back our boys. Yeah. All right, shall we wrap up there? Everything covered that we need to cover? Uti, quick shout out on the channel. What's coming up? And guys, keep subscribing if you haven't already. The link is in the title. Anything coming up soon on the channel, buddy?
I'm a bit like Solskjaer and Man United, mate, making it up as I go along.
Yeah. Great reference there.
But yeah, no, look, listen, the transfer market's closed, but I'm still going to be making videos pretty much daily, whatever is happening, anything interesting with any club. Let's just see. Like, for example, Juventus right now, they're going through the shit. Probably make a video about that. So stay tuned for it.
Dino. And just to say to the guys in the chat, I mean, Utti is very responsive. So if you leave comments in his on his videos, he does respond to them. So yeah, guys, if you have any suggestions for what you'd
That's
like
literally
to
how
see,
I got on here. Like I read your comment on
absolutely.
one of the...
Yeah, fantastic. And I'm so glad you did. And I'm sure our fans appreciate it as well. We'll hand over to Dino. We'll put him full screen for a second, so we can see. We compare the eggs, but yeah, thank you for your time.
Brothers.
Triple eggs, triple eggs. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like if you haven't already. Subscribe to both Forest Fan TV and Footy on Utti. Sorry,
Footy with Utti.
Footy with. I need sleep. I need some sleep.
Oh my God.
We'll be back on tomorrow's video.
You're not subscribed,
guys.
Wolverine?
Of course, I'm subscribed. Come on, you Reds.
5001.
Come on, you.